I am a Mount Airy mom, a public school teacher, and a candidate for Maryland State Senate representing District 4. Our district covers mostly Frederick County, but the town of Mount Airy is a part of it too. So while the only Carroll County residents who can vote for me live in Mount Airy, please know that I will be a champion for what is in the best interests of all Marylanders. I was born and raised in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and grew up on a farm. I earned my bachelor's degree at the Pennsylvania State University in secondary English and communication education, with a minor in international studies. Then I moved to Maryland to teach in Montgomery County Public Schools. I earned my master's degree in education and human development from the University of Maryland in 2006. My husband David and I settled in Mount Airy in 2009 with our first son. We love it here. Our oldest son is 9 now and attends Kemptown Elementary School with his 7-year-old brother. I stay at home with our 3-year-old son and his 6-month-old brother. That's right, 4 sons. I felt compelled to file for candidacy for State Senate Legislative District 4 as a Democrat so that my community could be represented by someone present in the community. I want everyone in Mount Airy to know that they have a voice in their state government. I want to listen more than I talk so that people here know they are heard. I am committed to the idea that if you elect me, my full-time job is to serve the state of Maryland and only the state of Maryland. I promise to live here in District 4, raise a family here in District 4, and listen here in District 4, full-time. I will work for you. I still have so much to learn about what the people here want and need from their state legislatures, and I will spend this campaign season listening to as many constituents as will talk to me. But I have some ideas about where I would like to focus my energies if elected: economy, ecology, and education. While Mount Airy is experiencing housing growth, we need to pursue business growth as well. Residents of our district need to have reason to stay in our district for work and leisure. We need someone in Annapolis looking to the future of our townships and planning ahead with an eye on widening roads and building new schools before a town has outgrown its infrastructure. We need someone in Annapolis pushing for small town Main Street revitalization with affordable housing options. Also, this potential for a rapidly growing economy in our near future must not neglect residents in our most rural areas. Farmers, ranch owners, and livestock breeders need to be protected from monopoly buyers and given incentives to move their business to or keep their business in Maryland. Growing responsibly requires an eye toward ecology. To meet the energy demands of this new growth, we need to invest in renewable energies like wind and solar power. We also need to continue vigilant protection of our watershed. There are, of course, sustainable and water-friendly ways to manage fertilizer needs and chicken waste, but we need to subsidize these practices instead of simply mandating them. We need to provide education to farmers, ranchers, and breeders on ecologically responsible means to keeping their farms and making a profit. Our future relies on the success of all businesses to operate cleanly and sustainably. Finally, as a teacher and a mother, I have many concerns about the success of our public schools in Maryland. Schools across the state are underfunded and staffing has been cut. Class sizes are only growing. We need to reinvest in our teachers and support staff so that the best educators stay here, educating our kids. As I move forward in my candidacy, I hope to meet many of you. I hope you will take the time to talk to me and tell me about your concerns. If elected, I promise to listen to, work for, and represent all of the residents in District 4 earnestly. Thank you, Carroll County Media Center, for the opportunity to introduce myself to potential voters. Again, my name is Jessica Douglas, and I'm running to represent District 4 in the State Senate.
My name is Sabrina Massette, and I'm excited to be running for the Maryland State Senate in District 4 as a Democrat, representing the people of Carroll and Frederick counties. I would like to thank the citizens taking time out of their day to view this recording. It is often said in an election year that this election is of critical importance. Well, this one is no different. I can't think of anything more important than being part of shaping a vision for our district and the state of Maryland. Voting for the candidate most qualified to make that vision a reality is the strongest tool each of us has. I entered this campaign for Senate out of concern for the many changes happening on the federal level and a desire to be a strong voice in Annapolis, standing up for the priorities and values shared by all Marylanders. My main three priorities are: 1, to ensure Maryland is a state where all residents are valued, where support for working families and vulnerable residents is always a #1 priority, through access to safe and affordable child care and housing, increased transportation options to employment, education, and medical needs, particularly for our rural municipalities, to comprehensive health care solutions, and safe, secure, fully funded public school systems where children are taught in top-notch schools by teachers fairly compensated for their skills, where there is an increased access to small business opportunities, and where respect for our senior citizens is demonstrated by prioritizing the supports necessary to allow them to age in place safely and with dignity through increased affordable in-home services, tax credits, and developing more safe and comfortable solutions when they can no longer do so. We need, secondly, to protect our natural resources, rural landscapes, and farming heritage by attracting green, sustainable industry, emphasizing development of renewable energy resources, developing comprehensive waste reduction and management solutions, responsible residential development, and planned public transportation solutions. We must sustain the unique natural resources and the majesty of the Chesapeake Bay that make Maryland America in miniature without placing undue financial hardship on individual citizens or small business owners. My third priority is we must legislate and develop immediate and comprehensive solutions to end the loss of our young people to substance use illness on a regular basis through working with partnerships of community advocates, grassroots organizations, behavioral and mental health services, law enforcement, and the justice system. We must create more detox, inpatient recovery, and transitional services. Our young people, their children, families, and spouses are not expendable. With 30+ years experience in human services, employment, and community activism, I have firsthand and often on a first-name basis knowledge of the impact that federal and state government has on the average resident. I have served the communities of our district through assistance to seniors and homebound citizens as a coordinator of Meals on Wheels, for a grassroots grant-funded community outreach program for at-risk youth and their families, as a member of an assertive community treatment team, serving people with severe mental health diagnoses and barriers of substance abuse, homelessness, and criminal histories, and in my current role as a case manager for the Frederick County Department of Social Services, gaining expertise in social support programs, including Medicaid and the Affordable Health Care Program. As a lifelong Frederick County resident living in Thurmont, I have a strong history of service to my community, from volunteering in many capacities, taking on lay leadership roles in my church, to 10 years on the Thurmont Planning and Zoning Commission, and as a current member of the Thurmont Green Team, I have been privileged to be a part of many efforts to make our district a better place to live and work. My experience responding to the needs and concerns of our fellow residents have prepared me well to run and to give voice to all residents. I am confident that the friends and neighbors I have grown up with, worked with, and attended many events together can come together respectfully to find solutions to some of our most complex and often divisive issues. I am ready to be your voice in Annapolis.